Welcome to the Mechanical Room. The Mechanical Room.
A Centrotherm production focusing on all things in and around the HVAC industry.
And now, your hosts, Michael Sakaris and Matthew Price.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, international trade show attendees, vent enthusiasts, globally and beyond, Michael Sakaris, welcome to the Mechanical Room.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, welcome back to Terra Firma here in the States. We've just gallivanted across the globe to Deutschland and back.
Yes.
How you feeling? You back on Eastern Standard Time?
I think yesterday was kind of the last day of a little bit of jet lag, but right now feeling good, in sync with beautiful New York.
Yeah, me as well. I don't know if I was a little zombified for a couple days there after,
During and after.
Well, yes. I mean, that's only because the Balfour guys were just pouring Pilsner into my face for, 8 straight days or whatever it was over there. But, yeah, so we completed the TNT travel trip, which is, of course, our trainer rewards, package.
Annual promotion for our reps.
Exactly. So Balfour Johnson, our great Michigan reps, won that. They do a phenomenal job. They do a ton of training. We brought along Brandon Hart of Aetna Supply and Andy Vanderswag of Macatawa Radiant as part of the whole package, and we took them to Isch in Frankfurt, and then a couple of days of tourism, sightseeing, and revelry in Berlin.
Yes.
And I think it was a great success. Everybody seemed to have a great time. What do you think?
I enjoyed it. I think the guests enjoyed it. We saw a lot and learned a lot at the trade show, the trade fair, as they called it. And then packaging it up with a little touring at the end was exciting, and also, must be my wife calling.
Catherine, how are you? How you doing?
And let's check it out. As a matter of fact, it is.
Oh, is it? Oh, it is your wife. Okay, because it could be your mom too.
It
sometimes.
could be my mom. But we closed off the trip in Berlin. Great city, fun city, a lot of history. It was overall a very fun and exciting time, I think.
So we will see intermixed into this podcast a couple of little vignettes, let's say, of the trip that I'm going to put together. There were certainly segments of the thing, including the trade fair and certain attractions we saw in, attractions and tourist things. We were amid the former Berlin Wall and other, sort of military history things.
Brandenburg Gate, which was kind of on the bucket list, not kind of, was on the bucket list. We were able to tie that in. It was
the Reichstag building, which I went to the roof of as well. Amazing.
Afterward,
yes.
when you said, yeah.
Yes. So what would you say maybe is the highlight for you? And was it the pork knuckle?
No, it was not the pork knuckle for sure. When you go, when in Rome, do as the Romans. When in Berlin, do as the Berliners. Pork knuckle was
donuts
not.
Then?
No donuts. The beer was good. Not to say it was the highlight. I think there were two highlights. I think the one is just attending Isch, which is. I'm not sure who it was that said it, but Isch makes
Brandon
makes AHR look like a counter day. It was massive. It was absolutely massive. We were there for a full 2 days, and I don't think we saw 50% of what was there. We hit the highlights.
If memory serves, there was 12 halls.
Yeah, I believe that is correct.
Which is amazing because some of our colleagues we saw.
We saw Yorn.
And Yorn was saying that it was a very scaled back version of Isch. That there was less attendees
Still
and things.
Massive.
12 halls.
12 halls.
12 halls. We were taking escalators up and down. We
Walking
were doing
for a long time.
I mean, there was. Not for the faint of heart. There was distance between these halls.
Yes.
We were going over elevated tunnels. We were outside at points. It was monstrous. I mean, and amazing to see European technology generally, that they're
Global technology,
the
really.
global technology. But compared to, let's say, HR, some kind of futuristic looking stuff, and really fascinating booths. And of course, I really love that almost all of them have like an espresso machine in the booth. I was sit on down. They say, hey, do you want to hear about like pipes or circuits or this or that? And I'm like, nah, I'll just have a cappuccino, please. Thank you.
And they were okay with it.
They loved it.
So that was one of the two highlights. And the second one, I always enjoy kind of talking to the people in the field, if you will. So the value chain, as I call it, right? We were the manufacturer was there. We had our regional there. We had our reps there. We had a distributor there. And then we had a contractor there. You kind of, everybody that touches the product as it goes through the cycle of getting it into the market, and getting to meet Andy in person, and Brandon in person. Brandon I had met, in conference calls, but getting time to
at the Balfour dinner
as well. But getting time to just sit down and chit chat on what they're encountering in the market and their obstacles and how they do business. Every place, every contractor, and how things get to that contractor is different from market to market. So I always enjoy learning about that.
Yeah, it was. I agree. The credit to the guys at Balfour & Johnson, and in particular, we had George Johnston, the principal, and Dan McClary, I believe, is the president of Balfour & Johnston. They selected a great group of guys to come with us, and that did run the gamut of the value chain there with a distributor and an installer, and both top tier guys who are at the forefront of their businesses and of hydronic technology and stuff like that. So and they were super insightful and really interesting to talk to, and also we just had like a hell of a time, a lot of fun. I mean, there were
somber moments, doing the some of the Berlin tours. History is pretty powerful. But there was also good times, going out to dinner, having drinks, having coffees early in the morning. Spending time with those guys was great fun. Yeah,
Berlin certainly has its historical perspectives, as Mr. Summers says.
Yes.
Historical perspective.
And it is powerful, to say the least, to walk along. I won't soon forget the stumbling stones, which is something that I'm sad to say that it was something I just learned about.
And they were in Greece and all over Europe, and I never knew about them. I probably walked by them.
When we go to Amsterdam next month,
we'll look for them.
There are apparently many of them throughout Amsterdam, which is something that I'm sure that I've walked past and never.
I would think probably right in front of Anne Frank's house. There would probably be.
We'll have to see. I mean, there is like an interactive map of them all. When I went to Paris afterwards, I definitely looked, and there are some in France, but there are none in Paris.
Okay.
So, didn't see that. But, I mean, certainly other places that I've been blessed enough to go to have these things. Oh, to be clear, these things are, I think the German word is Stolpersteine or something along those lines. It's a private enterprise. And a fella has taken it upon himself to install, I think,
it's his life mission. That's all he does.
30,000 of them across Europe, and essentially it's a little gold plate. I'll show a little later in the episode here. You'll see what these things look like. They're little gold plates that sort of memorialize people specifically.
That's exactly. It's just about the people.
It has their names, their birth dates, and unfortunately, in some cases, the day that they were murdered. It was really dark and powerful to be amongst that, and something that I'm glad to have experienced, despite it being grim. But it is part of world history, and
seeing the photo. The other thing, seeing some of the photos when we were at the wall of what was going on. Back in the day, right? During World War II and during the fall of the wall, and then standing in those same places where you see these historical figures was quite somber, quite moving.
Yeah, so I mean, I went to Paris for a couple days after the trip was over with my wife, and it was a really interesting sort of complete shifting of gears, despite the unrest and whatnot in Paris.
That's going on right now,
of which I was a part of very directly, as of course you'd expect.
You were setting garbage on fire?
No, but I was 100 yards from tear gas, so it was very, very fascinating, and I don't think my wife was aware, but I certainly was, that I marched her directly into the Bastille when that was going on.
Interesting.
I knew it was happening on that day.
Yeah.
And
was it Bastille Day was...
No, Bastille Day is in July.
In July, okay.
But the Bastille is the site of where the prison was, where many people were executed, and pretty much
We're very grim on this episode.
Dark. Well, don't worry. Well, the second segment will all be about IBS.
Yes.
So the Bastille is where...
The International Builder Show, if you're wondering.
The Bastille is where the French Revolution started, let's say, or one of the, a very famous uprising. And since then, it has become a sort of political epicenter in Paris for protests and uprisings. I'm hesitant to call it a riot. I don't think anybody was really rioting, let's say, in the traditional sense, but it certainly was a glom of humanity protesting some of the stuff that's going on politically in France right now. And it was like sort of along the path of where we were planning to go to do our like tourism stuff. And I definitely didn't like tell my wife, but I was like, yeah, we're going to go through the Bastille here. And man, it was wall to wall.
People, yeah.
And, we were like, just kind of like, in there, and I took some really interesting video. I will drop it in right here if I remember to, of all these people protesting some of the stuff that's going on in France. And once we got out onto the main avenue, I could visually see what was either fires or tear gas. I think it was tear gas, pretty close to it. So.
Boy, it's one of those days today.
Oh yeah, what's going on? You should take it live on the air.
I know. I'll turn my ringer off.
That'd be really.
Hello, can I help you?
Catherine, you're live on the mechanical room right now.
Say something.
She would not like that, I don't think.
No, my wife is very prescribed in what she does. She, off the cuff is not her thing.
And I don't think that she would like the publicizing of our private phone calls,
yes.
Which is kind of the opposite of, like say Howard Stern, who used to do back in the day.
Yes.
Like, he would call his wife on the air sometimes, and his mom and all that sort of stuff. So that's what we're trying
But
to.
they knew. They were. I'm sure.
Well,
they
at
were
that point,
prepared.
Howard Stern was a slightly larger than the mechanical room is.
Just a bit.
And. And yeah, so it was a slightly different situation going on there. But that's, of course, what we're striving to be. The king of all HVAC media here.
So are we going to have our own channel on
Sirius XM?
Sirius XM? Not anytime soon.
I would like it.
That would be nice.
That would be amazing. I could fill lots of hours with all kinds of
just chit chat like
content.
this for hours
fine.
upon hours.
Play
All right, so what's going on today
play a couple
on the
music.
mechanical room?
Well, actually, we have a first. So
first?
Before we get to the Show Us Your Pipe segment, we do have a first,
Okay.
which was our first in-studio guest.
Very nice.
Yes. So Erica Levasseur, the territory manager
Correct.
for Intellihot. Actually, so, full disclosure, we recorded the interview yesterday. So time-wise, it's, chronologically going to happen next in the show, but we did record it yesterday. Her and I believe his name was Jeff Slattery.
Correct.
Were in town and for a little bit of training, a little plant tour.
You wanted to learn about Centrotherm, see how the product is made.
Customary Cardona's lunch, of course. Shout out to Cardona's.
Do we tag them in this so they...
Give us
we
a free,
tagged JC Deli.
Give us a
Did we
free.
not?
We did. They loved it. Give us a free sandwich over there. We give Cardona's quite a bit of business.
We do.
I wonder.
That's the mainstay, take out lunch for the building here.
One of our absolute favorite delis in the area, and it is so good.
Traditional Italian. Good stuff.
I'm getting that for lunch today again.
Actually, I have to meet Mr. Donor is in town.
Oh, is that right?
So he
is
called
he
me.
coming here?
I'm not sure yet. We're trying to figure that out.
Oh, the East Coast regional sales manager.
East Coast
for Vesta boilers, and of course someone with deep ties to Centrotherm.
Yes.
He was the rep. He was our RSM when Balfour Johnson was our rep of the year.
That is correct.
Way back when I was a whippersnapper in 2017, 2018.
Seems like yesterday, right?
Well, I was gonna say seems like an eternity ago.
No, it seems like yesterday.
Yesterday, eternity ago. Both of them.
Yes, actually true. It does.
I certainly remember that was in the.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say. You remember?
No, that was that. What you're talking about is a bit foggier than what we're talking about. But I certainly remember being inside the John Lennon room.
Yes.
At the Universal Hard Rock.
That was probably the best venue of any of our meetings.
I think they've all been pretty good. We've been up in the game a little bit too each time, and we're kind of limited to what's available in the city. So that was Orlando, which kind of had a lot of options. But Hard Rock kind of fits our vibe a little bit, and we've done it now a couple of times in different locations. There must be one in Chicago, right? So
there is one in Chicago. I've already looked.
Oh, have you?
So did we even announce who our rep of the year was? Did we announce that on the mechanical room? Or?
We posted the video.
We did.
And, it's been shared on social media channels, including our esteemed Instagram network. Giving the Instagram perspectives, as Bill would say.
Of course. It's all about perspective.
It's all about the perspective.
Historical perspective.
So, yeah, congratulations to Michael Sales.
Michael Sales is our winner for 2022.
Yeah, that was, I believe, part of last month's podcast and or whatever.
Seems like an eternity ago. Or was that yesterday?
It does. Oh my. So, anyways, back to the topic at hand. We're gonna launch here into Show Us Your Pipe, and then we've got the territory manager Erica from Intellihot in studio for a mechanical room first, and she was great.
She was.
She's another heavily inked up person.
I know. I'm going to break down eventually and have to get one.
I think
I don't know.
so. There's a lot you can do. I mean, there's a lot. So you're a very proud. You have a very proud heritage.
I do.
And there is. So I mean, I even have a Greek themed tattoo.
I know, and I don't, and I'm Greek.
So there's a lot of things, and I'd be curious. Is there like any official symbolism of Kefalonia?
Yeah. There's the pretty much the shape of the island, and then there's
That would be badass, honestly.
That would be badass. And there's like a figure. There's like a statue in town that's kind of representative of the island. It's been there for many years.
It's not St. Hieronymus,
and
though.
No, it's not St. Hieronymus. And there's also the famous keys that were almost smuggled
So
out
now
of.
that it would be very cool too. I mean, honestly,
That's a
something
story in and of itself.
Like here,
Yeah.
a key would be that's a cool place for a tattoo.
And the Greek scroll is pretty common. A lot of people have that, as a band.
I got an olive branch tattooed on me yesterday,
You did
and
indeed.
that's that's obviously has a family lineage thing for you as well.
Yes.
I
I have olive trees.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So that would, there's a lot of very pertinent art potential and symbolism and stuff that has
Sure, absolutely.
deep ties and
Could
sentimentality.
go all over the place, and then you can always weave in a little Eddie,
You
from
could.
Iron Maiden.
I mean,
in there, too.
you could do a photorealistic portrait of your mother, like right here as well.
I love my mother, but I'm not putting a photo of my mother.
What
tattooed
about
to
your
myself.
mother getting a photorealistic tattoo of you?
Then I would be okay with that. All right, enough joking around. We always do that. Let's get to Show Us Your Pipe.
Welcome back to the Show Us Your Pipe segment, and we got a quickie here. We wanted to give a quick shout out to someone who had come up in our conversations behind the scenes with the Intellihot folks, because they're very familiar with Charles Buddy Felt, who is a friend to one and all, and in particular to us. So he is the winner of Show Us Your Pipe this month for something he posted just a couple of days ago. Michael, what are we looking at here?
I think it's some Fulton Endura boilers that are individually vented. We just like the symmetry of the photo that he took, the fact that they're individually run, both of which have intake and exhaust in Centrotherm. And always a favorite of mine, you get extra points in the judging, is if you put stickers on it that show the intake and exhaust. It's an idea that Matthew and I came up with.
That's all you.
Was it all me? I don't remember.
Actually, you kind of had that idea.
Who had that idea?
Well, I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay. Sounds good. So they're even branded with the stickers, and again, extra brownie points for those who do that. What else do you see in that photograph, Matthew?
So, it's funny. This is a really kind of airy mechanical room. Often, if you look at some of the photos that some of these guys post, there's all of the weaving gas lines that are very tight to
space,
one another,
yeah.
and people like Michael Flynn do the amazing job with the bends because they're maximizing the space. This must be. I'm not sure. I'll actually call Buddy to find out where this was because I'm curious now. Because it's so. I mean, the ceilings are 30 feet high.
I wouldn't go that. I would say
Well,
I don't know, maybe
20
12,
those
15 feet.
Those boilers are like 5. I don't know. They're either way.
So there's put it in perspective. There's the doors in the back that are in the distance. So they've got to be maybe 6 foot tall. I would guess.
right. So either way.
12 feet ceilings, 12 to 15 foot ceilings.
Either way, an airy mechanical room compared to some of the really tight spaces that some of the people really weave masterful installations into. So there's a lot more space to play with here, and as such, you don't see everything in this particular photo. Credit to Buddy, because he's a good guy, and he really is showing the venting on this one. I mean, that's what he's
and the
going
boilers.
for here.
I mean,
and
I think shout out to the Fulton guys, New York State company. I don't know if we've had a Fulton.
We have not.
So this is our first for that. So multiple firsts. in
Yeah.
this episode.
So, Buddy, we will be sending you, I think, more pillows. That's what you.
But he's a pillow fan.
I think, Buddy, do you want
Comforter.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Do you want a Centrotherm logo comforter or perhaps bed sheets? What kind of thread count are you working with over there,
He's looking
buddy?
for the bamboo.
500 thread count.
500. Yep.
Hey, Alex, please look up and see if we can get custom high-end bed sheets with our logo printed on them. For
Fluorescent
Buddy.
green.
Yep, the whole.
So
the
when
whole
you get
9
up to go to the
yards.
bathroom at night, you've got a target to come back to. Nice and bright.
Have Buddy put a shower curtain with our logo on it, perhaps a bath mat.
We can fit his whole house in Centrotherm
his
green.
and hers towels, like hand towels, but they're not. It's just Centrotherm and Centrotherm towels. Everything in high vis.
That's right. It's gotta be high vis.
To match his high vis beard.
That's right.
We love you,
Thank
buddy.
you.
We love you, buddy. Thanks for showing us your pipe, bro. Welcome to the Mechanical Room.
Hello. Is this our first in-person guest?
Officially, yeah. I mean, we did the Christmas special, but we...
Yeah, that didn't count, though.
Yeah, so welcome.
Thank you.
This is Erica of Intellihot, and you are the regional sales manager for the Northeast?
Territory manager. for
Territory
Northeast.
manager. Did I promote you there by accident?
Yeah, it's okay.
So we'll give her a raise.
Here's the
And a car.
CEO of
And a car.
Intellihot, Erica. Welcome. The owner and proprietor of Intellihot Industries Global.
I think you're
I'll take
displacing S3E as the leader of the company. Is
I'm
that
gonna
the deal?
order some new business cards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, welcome. What are you doing in Albany?
I am actually training. We just went to Rochester for FW Web yesterday. We did a lunch and learn with their employees, and we're taking out some contractors tonight in good old Albany, and then tomorrow we're doing a lunch and learn for some more contractors, then heading back to NH.
Can I ask you who in Albany? I mean, I'm pretty in with the mechanicals in this town.
You wish you were.
True. I'm lying. I'm doing market.
You know
research.
one or two.
Market
The guy who
research.
services his house. Right?
He just
Or
waves
two.
to a lot of people walking down the street.
I see a van. I just beep at him.
Puts out the Centrotherm flag.
So I saw my friends from Bork on 787.
That's who does my service.
Yesterday. So I'm just curious. Who are you going out to dinner with? Drop some names. Is it Greg Gizotti by any chance?
Oh boy, no. Well, we're going out with Bellevue for lunch tomorrow.
Where are you going?
The brewery.
The brewery.
Is it Danforth?
That's not in Albany, though,
Wait.
is it?
No, wait, Druthers.
Druthers.
Okay.
There we go. And then
We frequent
tonight-
that often.
Do you?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Druthers in Albany or Saratoga?
Yes. In Albany.
There's one in Schenectady now. They're expanding.
Yeah. So it's good.
It's good. It's good.
Is it good beer?
Good beer, good mac and cheese, good other stuff too.
Do you
Burgers.
drink Bud Light?
I
Is that why you're
don't.
saying it's good beer?
I
Is
don't.
it really good beer?
It's really good beer.
Okay.
I'm not an IPA guy.
Oh.
Are you an IPA
I'm
girl?
an outfit. Yeah.
Just too much for me. Dark is good.
Okay.
IPA, not so much.
We were just in Germany, and you were more of a Coca-Cola with a lot of ice guy.
Well, we were there with customers, so they don't give you ice. What's the deal with that in
yeah,
Europe?
I don't know.
I
It's
don't know.
very bizarre. They want you to be sweaty in your own juices in Europe.
Pig's knuckle.
Yeah, pork
So back
knuckle, yeah.
to so you're doing.
The visual.
So what did you do here at Centrotherm? You graced us with your presence.
Yeah, so we have Centrotherm throughout our units. We wanted to get out in the factory, see how they're made, see what you guys have, what you can offer us, how to put everything together.
Awesome. What's the highlight of the tour?
The machines were really cool. We literally got here and you said their machines aren't working.
They weren't started.
I almost just
working.
turned around and walked out.
They hadn't started, but I think I've done a lot of plant tours, and I think this is the very first one where we saw the tool being serviced. They're getting started, raw plastic coming out in molting form, packing it into the primer. You saw it from really startup to actually producing, which was pretty cool. I actually had never done that myself. Saw that process, and I've been here 5 years.
I've been on a lot of factory tours, and you're the first person to ever be like, hurry up, come over here. And we had to run to another section to watch something happen.
I think that might have been an OSHA violation.
We had a lot of those.
Did you have steel-toed shoes on?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. So we met all the requirements.
Usually I'm the source of the OSHA violations around this part, so I'm glad somebody else can get in on the action here. Usually they're running with scissors out there on the floor.
So part of what we do with the mechanical room is we talk about how products get to the mechanical room, what's in the mechanical room, why certain products are there. We talk about distribution. We talk about reps. We talk about associations.
Talk about IBS.
We talk about IBS, both types
And
of
there's
IBS.
The International Bowel Syndrome show.
Oh, that one.
We were
Okay.
talking about the International Builder Show, but
Not
Matthew
to be confused.
took it
It
to
went
a
off the
different
rails
direction.
pretty good last podcast. We call that a comedy callback.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yes. So there may be some people out there, I would be surprised if they didn't know, but what is Intellihot and why is it so special?
So Intellihot is commercial tankless water heaters. We go from 250,000 BTUs or 199,000 BTUs all the way up to 3 million with zero storage. All natural gas or LP, field converted, but it's going to be able to provide any kind of domestic hot water with no storage. So it's using a lot more or a lot less fuel, so it's saving the customers money. It's also in stock within upstate New York and everywhere, so we're able to get a lot of BTUs to a customer in a day of time.
Cool. That's a great answer. Elevator pitch.
Sounds like it sounds like you've given it one or two times in your day here.
Yeah.
So you said commercial hot water heaters, large scale stuff. What's the coolest job site you've ever been on? Or the most
Outside of the Centrotherm factory, of course.
Well, I mean, where you've seen Intellihot installed, let's say, we're very proud of, being inside the Port Authority and JFK Airport in New York City, like City Field and things like that. Josh Allen's house is one we've entered. He's the Buffalo Bills quarterback. Where is the most interesting Intellihot installation that you've been to?
Wow, you really trumped me. When I first started, I actually thought I was going to be in a lot of different hotels, restaurants, things of that nature. But then I realized that we are the only tankless manufacturer, the only manufacturer that can actually give on-demand water super, super fast in large quantities. So one of my first jobs that I did, and I did this hand in hand with my regional, is we actually did a manufacturing plant for bacon in upstate New York, but they make the bacon out of mushrooms.
So like a rendering plant. Oh, you're talking about Ecovative?
Yes.
We actually know someone who works there.
Wait, have you tried the bacon?
I have not yet.
It's
Is it good?
mushroom-based
I don't know.
bacon?
Yeah, they take the mushrooms, put them into a block, and slice it.
I thought it was like packing material that they made mostly.
I really hope it's not packing material. It's
Edible
edible.
No. So my understanding of Ecovative, is that how you
No,
pronounce
maybe
it?
it's not the right place.
Okay, because this
Yeah.
isn't like Green Island.
Yeah,
Troy
that's
Island.
Yeah,
one.
no, this is
The-
edible.
It's a mushroom-based bacon.
That he uses packing material.
No.
So I'm almost positive. My wife interviewed there, and I'm almost positive that they just use mushrooms for all kinds of interesting stuff, like sustainable.
Maybe they make more than edible bacon.
Yeah, well, I think they
mushroom
do. I think
bacon.
that they do. I think that they make all kinds of stuff out of this sustainable mushroom thing. So good, they're branching out into the foodstuffs industry.
See,
as
the
opposed
only
to-
way I knew them was because of the edible type bacon that was made from mushrooms.
Oh.
Well,
be
apparently he
wrong.
had a lot of edibles there.
Yeah, with Matthew, you never know.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, it happens.
I'm gonna have mushrooms too. So we'll
Bacon.
one
and
of the
mushrooms.
same. Oh, bacon too. I mean, we're firing on all the cylinders.
We're
Let's get a plant tour of that place.
We're continuing with our silliness from last time, I think.
We gotta get a plant tour of that place and go see, just sample everything.
Yeah,
That's-
might as
So
well.
tell me a little bit about, again, it's about the mechanical room product, how it gets there, all the surrounding things around the mechanical room. You guys are doing some interesting and different type of stuff. You're partnering a little bit stronger with some distribution. How's that working out for you, in your market, New England? in upstate New York. What's going on? Any shout outs to anybody out there that works with you guys?
Well, I have to do a shout out for Darren Cook because he's the one giving us all the contractors in Albany for this week. So thank you for that. But yeah, FW Web does have us exclusive in upstate New York and New England. So they stock everything up to 2 million BTUs.
Wow, okay.
They have it all over New England. So they're really crushing it there. So we did just start going into distribution probably about 2 years ago. So it's really a different avenue for us. So we're really seeing ourselves in a lot of emergency replacements, taking out those tank styles and putting in our units. And then we're seeing it obviously plan and spec, kind of growing everywhere as well. But to have it in stock at FW Web so someone can go there and get that replacement and put it in is really, really big for us.
Excellent.
Yeah, and then they have your product too. So
They do.
That's a big thing. One-stop shop.
We're happy to accommodate with that one-stop shop.
Yeah, I've been to that place. I've been to that.
He's still thinking about the mushrooms.
Yeah, I've been to that web location. I've looked around a little bit.
Yes, that is when we bring on new employees, we typically, when we're trying to, somebody starting new, we run them over to FWA because they're right down the street from us. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, this is what a distributor does. This is where they fit in kind of the value chain of distribution. This is, what their role in life is. So it's a common stop for us to shoot over there.
Yeah, so to that end, you work with distribution a lot.
Yes.
What's something that you wish they understood better, let's say, as a whole, as a concept? What do you wish distributors understood about HVAC or your business specifically that would A, make your life easier, or B, just sort of improve the industry trades as a whole?
Well, I came from distribution, so that's how I got my foot wet in the industry. So without kicking myself...
what did you learn there?
No, with distribution, they're all about instant gratification. They have a customer with a problem, they have no hot water, they have something like that, and they want to get that instantly solved. But then if they come to me, I understand their problem, I understand no hot water, I understand all of that. However, they have to realize that I have to run through something through a totem pole. Sure. I have to then go to my higher ups, who also goes to a different department and all of that. So you can't always get those immediate answers. So I try to be the third party that understands from both sides and makes it happen.
So what you're saying essentially, I think, is you wish they understood the channel a little bit more and like the nature of how products get to market and how questions get answered, as opposed to like rabbit out of the hat and here's your, I don't know, heat exchanger or your Johnson rod or whatever.
Well, of course they're trying to screw you. What do you think? That's what they do. They can make up anything. Nobody knows. By the way, you need a new Johnson rod in here. Oh, Johnson rod. Yeah, well, you better put one of those on.
Here's your press fittings and your press gun, and go do it. There's
fixed.
more complicated than
Problems are solved because of magic, essentially.
I feel like in this industry, it's just like in a restaurant industry. The best guests are the people that have worked in the service industry. The worst guests are the ones that have never worked behind a line. They've never been able to wait on people. It's the same thing with distribution. They've never worked in the field. They don't understand the pain of a contractor. Never worked in the factory. They don't understand that. But then I turn around and I have people at my factory that have never worked out in the field. They've also never had their hot water shut off. So if they were to experience those types of things, you're going to have different sense of urgencies on both sides.
And maybe
I agree with that.
Your rounded resume uniquely qualifies you to be good at what you do now because you've seen the other side of it, let's say. Have you ever done any installations?
I do the startups. I make sure I was that girl. So I worked for a service coordinator job, and I would send my guys out on PMs, and they would just bitch and moan, and they hated it. So finally, I was like, take me out with me. So he went over and handed me some gloves, and we got out of the truck, and he was like, you're going to vacuum this. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? And now I understood. Every single time they would roll their eyes at me when I would send them out on a job. So yes, we're there watching these things. I don't have my gas license. I sat through gas class. I didn't get the hours or anything like that. So I'm really good at telling other people what to do. So I can supervise that and just make sure they're doing it the right way. But I love to be on these jobs. That's how I learned about your product. I want to be able to know how to do the best way to do combustion with your product. I want to know the best way to size it and do all that. And that's why I'm going out to the manufacturers so I can learn more about it.
And that's why you're here today at 400 South Pearl Street,
downtown
in Albany, New York, on your way to the Druthers Brewery, right?
Yeah, right.
You got here this morning from New Hampshire, right?
So no, we drove on
Rochester.
Sunday. We
that's
drove
right.
to Syracuse, did Rochester on Tuesday. then came to Albany, and then tomorrow afternoon I'll be heading back to New Hampshire.
Did you have a garbage plate while you're out there?
A garbage plate?
No.
Wait, in New Hampshire or
No,
in
Rochester.
Rochester?
That is the dish
Oh, wait.
of Rochester.
Tell me about this. Is it better than a Jersey Turnpike?
I'm not sure what a Jersey
Is it
Turnpike is.
I don't know what that is either.
Wait, really?
I'm from New York City, and
Then I should move my chair if I tell you about
no,
it.
I want to know what that is.
What is
and
it?
Then,
So
Wait,
garbage plate
wait,
is
yeah.
pretty much, the name implies what it is. It's potatoes, I think, and pasta and ground meat and mustard and everything. Just like
It's a Rochester specialty.
Is it on the menu as
Yes,
garbage
yes.
plate?
When you're at a diner in Rochester, it's all like the leftover home fries and all the little leftover stuff. They put it on a plate and they put all kinds of condiments on it, and it's a garbage plate. And it's different. It tastes better if you've been out the night before and need something to eat, but it is a uniquely Rochester
Definitely
thing.
like a 2 a.m.
Yeah.
If you bring it home, like the leftovers
Yeah, I
home
don't
and eat them the next
know.
day,
If
is
I
it a
brought it
different
home, my
name?
wife would probably throw me out of the house, but it's not like a fine culinary experience.
Is
It
there a
is an
calorie
experience.
count?
Oh, you don't want to, probably don't want to know.
Sodium through the roof. What is a Jersey Turnpike then?
Okay, so I've been a bartender my entire life, right? So a
Alright.
Jersey Turnpike is at the end of the night when you
Oh,
take the
I
mat
know where this is
with
going.
all of the remnants of all the drinks you've made, and you literally
We told
pour
her
it
that she
into
could
a
say
shot.
it. She could say it in the shot.
There's another name for that too. I've heard that described as something else. Too.
I don't know.
Potentially-
I feel like we're going in a different direction.
No, I've
If
seen.
you think about it, though, you're driving through the Jersey Turnpike. You're like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, it's sludgy. It's mixed.
Yeah,
with all
I have no
kinds
idea
of
where I'm going. I don't know
fluids
where I'm
and-
going to end up.
We've talked about all kinds of things on the Mechanical Room podcast. Jersey
Have
Turnpike
you
is a new one.
ever done one of those Jersey Turnpikes?
No, no.
nor
I've
have
made
I.
them.
You've
Yes.
witnessed people do it.
I've made them for them.
Oh my
yes.
goodness! Have you ever served a Jersey Turnpike to someone as their first cocktail of the night?
No. I might as well just shut them off before I send it to them.
So new Long Island iced tea, Jersey Turnpike. Keep it in the Metro New York area. I
I
guess.
mean, a Jersey Turnpike is probably similar to a Long Island iced tea,
Yeah.
as much as like it's a little tequila, it's a little gin, it's a little vodka, it's a little this, it's a little that.
So, question:
Yes.
what do you do in your job? What is your main? What are you trying to accomplish in the market? Again, in the understanding of the Mechanical Room, you're a territory manager for a pretty up and coming company, very unique in what they do. How are you trying to get to market? What are you doing? What does your day-to-day job look like?
Trying not to get fired.
Matthew
that's
tries
how
to
I
get
start.
fired.
No, we do everything. Training is the biggest thing. I came from being an industry trainer. I think that training is really crucial. I'm actually going to get my master's to be a career
very nice.
technical education.
Oh, very cool.
I believe that you have to be able to train them. They have to know the ins and outs. If they know every little tiny piece, then eventually they're gonna remember these things. So we go out and we do factory startups. So instead of them paying for someone to do that, we go out there and we train them so they can do it the next time. Train them how to do the PMing. Train the wholesalers how to sell it. Train everybody, the different basics.
And speaking of training, maybe we can weave in, Matthew, a little bit of TNT in this episode.
Sure.
We just got back from our train and travel.
Oh, yeah.
So training is a big thing for us as well. We think training is a leading indicator of sales, and with a
we
new
don't
product
think-
like
we know.
and with our product being new, kind of like Intellihot, it's kind of a new offer into the marketplace, a little different. We spend a lot of time doing training, and we incentivize our with a promotion for our reps to do training. And we just got back from one of those trips.
Yeah,
So-
and so if you watch this episode, which I hope that you do, you'll see some clips that we put together of our travels across Frankfurt and Berlin with, we had a little bit of everybody throughout the channel, right? We had our reps from Michigan, we had a representative, the hydronics manager or the hydronics specialist at a distributor, and we had a radiant heating installer with us as well. And we went to the ISH show in Frankfurt, and then we went to Berlin where we tromped around and went to monuments and took a tour and all this other stuff too. So that'll be part of this podcast episode too.
Did you guys stop by the Intellihot booth?
Did it have an Intellihot booth?
I did
Oh.
not see it. If
I
it
didn't
was
see.
there.
We went to the boiler
The-
section.
it was-
thoroughly.
Amy and Robbie, they're gonna be so mad they didn't get
It
to
was
see it.
absolutely a monster trade show.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
we
was-
were there for 2 full days from start to finish, and we maybe saw half of what was there. It was
Wow.
Maybe I would say
AHR
probably less than half, honestly.
AHR is a third of what Ish is. It's amazing. Different spin, more European brands there, but it's absolutely monstrous as far as what's there. Matthew's
and I wanted to show you
checking
like
if
what
they were there.
it was like. Like you can see that some of these days we were approaching 30,000, 20,000 steps. We were walking all over Frankfurt and all over the show and stuff. I mean, it's just insane.
It was massive. I've never seen that was the biggest trade show that I've ever been to.
Yeah,
That's
by far.
cool.
I mean, it makes
Yeah,
out I believe Brandon said that it made AHR look like a counter day.
Yeah, actually, that's a good
Wow.
comparison. Yeah.
That's
And
harsh.
Yes. I mean,
Well,
it was
it's
that
just
big.
it's that big. It's the global one. I mean, there were people. I mean, AHR has a tad of international presence, and people like Riello has Italian guys coming in from Italy for the Riello booth, let's say, and Wiesmann has the same people, and our international sales director comes in from the Netherlands to be part of the Centrotherm stuff, etc. So there is international elements to AHR, but Ish is the global one. Right, the manufacturers from Korea have a whole team coming in for their products.
Poland, Italy.
I mean, we were talking
all
to those
over
guys
the
from
place.
Turkey. We were talking about.
There's a Greek manufacturer there that made
Yeah, it was global,
products.
for sure.
So you guys didn't have to man the booth. And
No,
stand.
we did
You
not.
guys got to go and have fun.
We walked the show to a large extent, but we were not, pitching or, standing in a booth. We were walking around with the customers. We were doing some competitive recon. We were seeing what new products are coming out on the market. It's absolutely fascinating. Technology's different. The brands are different.
Enjoying some pilsners
As well.
in the German trade show, that kind of thing. So
Cappuccinos.
yeah, oh yeah.
good.
Actually, that's one thing that was really really amazing. Was basically every booth. I wouldn't say every booth, but 4 out of 5 of them had like an espresso machine in the
Beer
booth, in the
or
booth.
espresso in the booth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
What
really.
was wrong with the people that didn't? They didn't
Well,
get the memo.
I guess they just figured out that you just want one.
Walk across
Go to
the
the next
hall.
booth over there. We're trying to sell our systems over here. If you really want that drink, go across the hall or whatever it was. But yeah, I mean, crazy. We sat down at the booth. We have a cappuccino. Somebody tries to come to sell us something, and we're like, we're just here for the coffee, thanks.
And they were like, okay,
So.
enjoy.
So when is your next tattoo appointment? Because we got to wrap this up soon. Because mine is
Yeah,
today.
we always ask some personal questions.
So Erica,
Not
you
too
have
personal.
lovely some geometric stuff going on here, and is there some filigree I see?
Yeah,
and
mostly my arm is mandala with
Mandala.
dot shavings. Yeah, we got all the dots, so most of this is freehands, but I have a good 56 hours on my arm.
I'm going to take a little short video of it so I can pop this into and show because it's really nice and I'm a big fan of the patterning. Just so I can get a close view into the podcast as well. So if you want to rotate that over, awesome. It was really, really nice. I really like black. I'm obviously a color guy.
Yeah.
I have color all over my body.
Don't ask to see the rest of the body.
Wait, where's today's gonna be?
I continue on my back.
Okay.
So I'm working on a full back situation, and but I mean I got pretty much everywhere but this one arm. Is
Is it gonna stay blank?
Oh no.
No. You look at me like I'm ridiculous.
No. I mean, I'm gonna cover probably my whole body eventually. I mean, I have full sleeve here. Both my ribs are done. I got a bunch of tattoos on my chest. My leg is almost fully sleeved with aquatic themed stuff.
Yeah.
That's where the duck comes in that we were talking about earlier. No, just kidding.
And my back has right now a giant Statue of Liberty on the back that I'm from New York City, and I'm getting today a dove with an olive branch. It's very peaceful, welcoming, patriotic kind of thing, but a welcoming, loving kind of thing, not a harsh, whatever you want to call it, I guess. So the New York City thing is where I'm from, and so it's going to be a whole open arms, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses type of America back piece.
There you go. Do you have one tattoo artist? Or do you have multiple?
Well, so I mean, I just got one in Berlin a week from today, and that was not the same guy. I got a tattoo in Athens when I was in Greece last summer, and that was obviously a different guy. But 90% of them are all the same guy in Troy, New York. So right by the dinosaur barbecue, effectively. But yeah, he did my whole sleeve. He did both my ribs. He did all my legs. He's doing all my back. He did most of the ones on my chest, and he's just amazing. And I will if I was to move away from here, I would come back to visit him for sure. I would make appointments
nice.
and travel
Okay.
back to come see him and continue the theme. It's my wife really, he was her friend first, and she really likes the art And that's part of the reason why I'm like even allowed to go and get more of this stuff, because she likes his work, and it's all very, not pornographic or violent in any way. You know what I mean? It's all friendly and colorful, and
You
don't
strike
need
me
a
as that-
permission
You don't
slip?
strike me as that kind of guy.
Well, so there's 2 rules. My wife has 2 rules, basally, right?
Oh, did you know this?
I did not know
Oh, we're
this.
going
I know
deep.
his
We're
wife
going
very well,
deep
but I
now.
don't know if I knew the rules.
We're not letting you know the safe word, just the 2 rules.
The rules are I need to be able to put like a suit on, and then the tattoos
You've mentioned that, yeah.
away. So I mean, I don't have anything that's too far. I would love to. I want like a big cholo rose on my top of my hand, like a Mexican prison tattoo kind of thing. Like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Like a giant rose. I think Colton has one.
Yeah,
does have a giant
Colton
rose.
does have one.
It's so badass. I love that big thick lines and red whatever. But I'm on the top of the hand is a very aggressive. I see you have a little bit of that. And I mean, I would definitely get something on my neck too, but not yet. And the only other rule is so has to be invisible if
Professional
if
environment.
it needs to be. Which I can't say that for the nose ring or the long hair, but whatever. And the other rule is like no violence, no pornography, nothing grotesque or anything like that. Which luckily is not really my vibe.
So you don't run the tattoos by her before you get them? They're all a surprise when you get home?
She doesn't. She knows generally what the ideas are, but there've been a couple of times in which I went to the place expecting to get something, and then he presented me with the design that was not exactly what I had in mind, and we did something else. And so she's like, "Oh, I thought you were getting such and such, and instead you got a giant portrait of Jimi Hendrix on your arm." So that was definitely one where I was expecting to get something here, and I came home with this instead.
Wait,
And
it wasn't Jimi Hendrix when you started.
that one in particular was supposed to be like an Elton John tattoo. So this is all music stuff.
It's all me, yeah.
This
His
is
arm
all
is
my
music.
music influences, right? So
Okay.
like Weird Al and Fishbone is my favorite band, The Who, Neil Young, Frank Zappa, Pink Floyd. I mean Beethoven. There's a lot of. So I was
They all go together. Beethoven, Zappa, hand in hand.
Yeah.
absolutely, it's a rich tapestry. So I was supposed to. He didn't quite have what I described to him. I guess maybe was a little unclear, and the thing that he had made was not like what I was looking for. So instead of getting the thing that I thought I was going to get that day, we got something that I assumed was going to get down the line. Like I had always wanted like a giant Jimi Hendrix face on my shoulder. Like it fits nicely. It's kind of whatever. I like it. And so we just like, let's just do that one today. And it's like, okay. So that was a bit of a surprise, but my wife doesn't care too much. As long as it be hidden, as long as it's not grotesque, we're good to go.
Falls
So-
within the 2 rules.
Yeah. So
Yes, it
what's
does.
your next tattoo appointment, and what are you getting?
Well, it's like 6 months out, so I
Mm-hmm.
have plenty of time to think about it, but it's either going to be a spinal or foot.
So you're going for the pain.
Not necessarily. It just so happens to land in that area of pain.
it just as it happens, you're going to
But-
have some
Well-
the foot is a real ouchy one, as I understand.
When
it.
I was
Here's an
18,
ankle.
I made my dolphins right here. I
Mm-hmm.
drew them, so I want to get it covered up. But I want to do it with watercolor, but my tattoo artist doesn't like doing color. So I say mandala, jewels, watercolor in the background just to cover it up, but it goes down into my foot.
All right, that sounds like fun.
Either that or the moon phases on my spine.
Okay,
Yeah.
I know that one. That's a classic. I'll be getting some spine stuff later today, and I'm not looking forward to that exactly.
The spine wasn't bad. I think my worst was this right here.
Really?
That
Up at the
leaf.
shoulder?
It was literally that leaf right there.
Elbow ditch is the one that's the killer.
Ooh.
Elbow ditch is rough, man.
Obviously, I don't have one, so I can't add into this conversation.
This 9-hour session right here, his very first
9
pinprick was
hours.
this right here.
Oh yeah, the wrist. Is
I was like, really?
it's
It
tough.
doesn't
Worst
hurt
first.
while they're doing it through. It hurts when they wipe it with it. It's like
Yeah,
sandpaper. They're wiping it.
eventually
I'm
it
like, can you just stop?
Oh my goodness. And on that note,
Wait, I have one question.
yes.
Do you use the wussy pain? Really?
no, honestly, I kind of I think it's purification through pain.
Okay.
And I think that if it didn't hurt, a lot more people would have them. And
Good answer.
people say that there's a guy out there, I won't name names, but if you look at them, you'll be able to pick them out.
But he knows exactly that we're talking about him.
He's the kind of person who's like, I love tattoos. I love getting tattooed. Man, it's great. It doesn't hurt me at all. I fall asleep in the chair. It's like, tattoos are easy. They're fun. I love it. I love
I know who you're talking about.
yeah. He's so full of shit. It's ridiculous. They all hurt in varying degrees, in different places they do. They all are. My ribs was excruciating for 5 hours. And I'm a whiner, too. You can ask him. I'm a giant baby. So, I'm sitting in the chair, and They all hurt. I mean, it is what it is. But no, I don't do the creams. I don't do any of that sort of stuff. It's
You earn it.
you gotta earn it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, one last question we ask every guest. Music.
Yeah.
What do you listen to?
Right now I'm going into twingy country. Tyler Childers, Zach Bryan, stuff of that nature. But I still go with my classic rock.
So who's your favorite band?
I would have to say Allman Brothers.
Okay. Wow.
That's Peachtree.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Allman Brothers are a classic. That
Yeah.
was one of my first concerts I ever went to. Was the Beacon Theater with my dad and in like maybe 1995, something like that. I was like 11 years old. The first and only time I ever smelled marijuana smoke.
First and only. Okay, that was
He went direct to mushrooms.
He just went to the hard stuff. My first was when I was 5, Guns N' Roses and Aerosmith
Wow.
at the Tweeter
Wow,
Center
that's
in
a good show.
Mansfield, Mass. Ever since, I got spoiled. Like Page and Plant, like my dad was taking me all the good ones. Even Kid Rock back in his heyday. BB Corey.
Was a douchebag.
Yeah, that one. He was still a douche back
He
then. He
was.
just sang
It
well.
was an open douchebag.
Yes.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
my.
with that said, I think we need to bring it to a close.
We do.
Thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for
Thank you
having
for
me.
spending.
Our first
In person?
thing,
Yes.
So thanks so much.
I love it.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for spending time with us and learning about Centrotherm here. And if we can help you, let us know. If we can help you, let us know.
Thanks, guys.
Peace. welcome back. We have to bring this fine episode to a close. We've done a lot of rambling, Matthew, as we always do.
I think we're kind of increasing that because I think this is now episode 24, 25, 26.
I call it
say.
year 3,
Season
episode 3.
Episode 3.
Yeah, I can't count that high.
But obviously there's growing pains.
Yes.
Obviously, there's comfort levels and gelling and stuff. You and I have obviously, become, very good friends over the years. So there's a sort of a natural rapport. But put the microphone in front of people and it doesn't
some
work the
people
same.
clam up. Right.
And now I don't think we have that at all. It's just sort of natural.
No.
This is the kind of chat.
The first few, I was like prepared with notes.
Now we just improvise
that,
it.
yeah. It's more natural too, though.
Yes, indeed. So this is the kind of conversations that we have like in your office, more or less now. But we share them for the world to see. You know, so our legions of Sirius XM listeners out there.
We're coming after you, Howard.
Erica is lovely.
Yes, it was
it
was great
a
spending
very good guest.
not only the episode where she was kind of sitting in between here, but we spent a good amount of time with her, again, walking through the plant, doing some training, walking through the product. It was, we learned a little bit. I mean, I know a little bit about Intellihot, but I learned a little bit more how they're kind of changing and evolving, not only their product, but how they go to market.
Yeah,
as all boiler manufacturers are.
I mean, and I don't know if credit is the right word, but like, good on her. She's worked every corner of HVAC basically.
She did. She was with Viga for a little while. She was one of the trainers.
She worked distribution.
She worked distribution. The value chain.
Yeah, exactly. And that actually does uniquely position her as someone who understands pretty much all of the stuff, all of the HVAC perspectives,
historical perspective
throughout the value chain. So
how many times did we say perspective?
Not enough.
Okay.
Not enough. I'm gonna cut that little section out and just drop inside the historical perspectives.
Yes.
That's what we offer you here on the Mechanical Perspectives.
Historical perspective.
All sorts of stuff, and her perspective was really interesting and unique because she comes at it from all those different angles. Now Intellihot is obviously high-end commercial tankless water heaters.
And a very unique offer, I have to say, for what they do.
Exactly. And full disclosure, we at Centrotherm work very directly with Intellihot because they require sort of the high efficiency venting and components inside the units.
Yep.
There is go back in the archives, and a previous Show Us Your Pipe actually focused on the internal guts of an Intellihot machine.
They're not the only ones.
They're
inside many others as well.
For sure. But
they're unique, though, in their design.
They are, and Intellihot is one that, in my memory, is one that has been a long-standing Centrotherm partner.
Absolutely.
And, I've just walked out on the floor, and at this point, I can be like, they're making, like, internal guts for they're making something out there for Intellihot there, because it's this type of thing with these drains and these little ports and yada, yada,
I call
yada.
it the dinosaur.
Yeah, it does look like a dinosaur a little bit. I'll see if I can drag up
internal photo of one.
An engineering drawing or something like that for this. I probably won't, but we do have
Just
them.
a picture of
they do exist.
A picture of one of their boilers with the dinosaur inside.
Even better, visit them at their booths at various times, and then you can see they always, and they do a really good job at their trade show stuff. They very often have translucent or open-faced water heaters, so you can actually see
what goes on inside,
how the sausage is being made.
Back to the Ish trade fair.
Yeah,
they were there. Even though we walked around 2 days straight, we did not get to that.
And we were
section.
Focusing on hydronics and boilers and all that stuff too. So it just shows. I mean, maybe Intellihot, you should go for the Wiesmann model and have like a 4 square mile booth.
That was a massive booth. There were some massive
God,
booths.
Ridiculous.
And again, because it's global, a lot of those companies, I mean, certainly the U.S. brands were there. Different though, which I'll get to in a second, but there were brands that I had never heard of before that had our venting on them, which was amazing to me. But I won't mention any names, but there were some manufacturers, U.S. manufacturers that were there that had tiny booths. Others had big booths. But I was surprised with some that had really small booths there, where some of their European or international competitors had massive booths. So I guess it's kind of different. You're tailoring to the market that you trade in and how things are different. It amazed me. That was one of the highlights of all these brands that had massive booths that I never knew of.
Yeah, it was certainly a unique experience. We are putting feelers out for the MCE one now next year, which might be a very viable TNT trip for next year to Italia, Milan and whatnot. That's they flim-flam like every other year. It's
Yeah,
ish, then
they
MCE,
alternate.
and then ish, then MCE. I could kind of see this becoming a tradition because it's nice to center it around something that's HVAC and building space
Certainly.
related.
And those, what was interesting is the Balfour guys, the Etna, Brandon from Etna, they came with a list of companies that they wanted to visit and learn about. So I'm glad it wasn't, just about the travel. It was certainly about business and how do they
Certainly.
expand their offer and to serve their markets better.
And also wearing leprechaun pants.
Yeah, Dan was pretty brave. It was Dan is of Irish descent, and we were there during St. Patrick's Day,
Which is not really a thing in Germany.
except if you go to the Irish pub.
Which, by the way, I was looking around, my wife and I walking around just a little bit. Bill had said that was the only one.
No, there was more.
There was loads of them there.
Yeah, there was loads
There was
of them.
quite a few.
That was one of the more famous ones.
Well,
I think,
certainly
in Berlin.
highly attended to the,
Absolutely.
To the point where
You
most of
couldn't
us
get
were
in.
like, nah,
Yeah,
we're
we
going to go
gotta go.
somewhere else.
But Bill had a interesting uniform's not the right way to put it. Outfit, costume. We should put a picture.
Dan, you mean?
Or Dan. Did I say Bill?
You did.
I would have loved to see Bill in that. But Dan had it on, not Bill.
I will show them dancing.
Yes. But didn't he dance with a bear as well? The Berlin
Was it a
bear?
dog?
I think it was a bear.
Right, you mean outside the tower, right?
Yes.
I thought it was a dog, but it could have been a bear.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
I'm going with
that
a
was
bear.
that was a hilarious moment. Okay, so similar to like Elmo or Spider-Man in Times Square, right?
Did we have to pay him?
Well,
No.
that's where I'm going, right? They the guy see the dude in the furry costume, let's call it, right? Dog, bear, whatever
You're
it
correct,
is.
in the furry.
Some goofy fella in a like attempting to glom a few euro off of tourists down at the bottom of the tower.
Yes.
Approaches our own mascot, Dan McClary, for some revelry and some photos and stuff like that. And we were not paying attention to this dog bear character at all, but Dan was wearing this outfit, and then the dog, trots up to Dan and wants to take photos with Dan, and then afterwards demanded money from him. And really,
And then Dan, I think, put his hand out as well.
He should have paid Dan for that opportunity.
That's true.
As Dan also took many photos with all
He was a
kinds
good
of people
sport. Yeah,
walking around out
he
there.
wore that costume the entire day and night.
He did.
And which I give him credit for because I certainly would not have the.
A bit encumbering, I must
yes.
say.
I won't go there.
The leprechaun only had one beer throughout the day.
Yes, but Dan was taking pictures in the street with random people that were walking by. He was posing, dancing, doing all kinds of fun stuff.
Yes, indeed. Dan is obviously the life of the party, one of my favorite people in this industry. When he calls me, the photo ID on my phone is a picture of him giving me a nice smooch on the cheek.
Okay, that was at AH or that
I
was
think
at
it was at Aspie, I want to say.
Aspie? Okay.
And we're talking now 2017, 2018. It's two youths in that photo. Oh my God, days gone by. Just shows that we
feels
have
like an eternity. Feels like
long-standing,
yesterday.
long-standing relationship with the Balfour guys. And actually, I will not tell the story because it's a little off color, but Dan often tells a story about how he knew that our line was a good match for their agency, and it has been. And those guys are some of my absolute favorites to work with. And I learned so much from George, and he's a guy who is super detail oriented and has helped craft some of my marketing perspectives
Historical perspective.
in a way that I know has helped us overall.
Yeah, absolutely. No question.
And of course, Dan is a guy who is just after it all the time.
He's the
and
consummate sales guy. He knows the business. He's smart. He knows how to get things done.
Yeah, he's funny.
They're
He's a hard
pleasure to deal
worker.
with.
They really are.
Yeah.
They have a great team over there. They're a
They
great
do.
organization. They work hard. They play hard. They're a lot of fun. They're one of my favorite people to work with throughout our rep network. And that's saying something because there are a number of people. Chris Landry, Tim Morales, TM Sale.
You
I mean,
can
just name them all.
mention them all. They all.
We have such.
We're blessed with representation.
We
that
are,
have.
and they are, at the top of the heap.
Absolutely.
So, all right.
With that said, take us out.
So, we didn't talk about IBS at all this episode.
You did earlier, and you are bringing it back in.
I'm going to talk about it every episode from here on out. This is the
International Builders Show.
This has been the IBS Room episode for March. Everybody, make sure you take your Metamucil, and we will see you next month when I think I'm negotiating. Hopefully, we'll have Brent Ridley on as our guest next month. The Tool Pros.
Yes, we did speak about that. Yeah, there's some interesting things potentially cooking there.
Yeah,
so.
I'm chatting with his wife, the Tool wife, to get him scheduled on the podcast.
Now, that would be good.
month.
He does a lot of good charitable. I mean, we may be saying too much. We may not be able to kind of firm it
we'll
up.
see. I mean,
hopefully
we'll get him on eventually for sure.
Yep.
And hopefully next month as well. I mean, truth be told, we were struggling at the beginning to get guests, and now we have a glut of opportunity because we've networked so well with some of these folks. I want to have
people have recognized the magnitude and the impact of the mechanical room.
Yeah, I want to have Renata on. She now works for Ream.
Yes, indeed.
She was the Hardy Marketing Council chair for a very long time. That's how I know her, and she's dynamic and amazing. And that's just one of many. I mean, I'd like to have Mary Jo on. She's the marketing director for Munch Supply, the M&A kings of the universe over there, as they just gobble.
One of many. The dynamics of the industry are changing quite a bit.
Yeah, and actually,
a lot more bigger guys and a lot fewer smaller guys.
And funny guys. That's 3 ladies that I named. Right?
Yeah. Guys, I use that generically. It's a bad thing. I gotta.
Well, I mean, but
break
it
that
just
habit.
shows. It just shows that the industry is changing a bit,
That's
and it is good. It is good.
So at Hardy, there was the demographer. He when he looked out, he's like, "Boy, this industry hasn't changed much. There's your white, male, pale, and stale.
Pale, male, and stale.
Pale, male, and stale.
That's a good way to end it here with us dusty old white guys.
Better than IBS. All right, everybody. Catch you later. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next month.